Okay, we have talked about all of the parts and pieces. We talked about the function of the manifolds and what's on the cart, what's in the bags, what's in the bucket, the power sources, the hand pumps, the electrical distribution pump, the tanks, and all these different things. So everything's set up. Let's do a little recap. We've deployed the tanks. They're laying on the ground. We've made sure that the area that the tanks are laying on are free of debris. Any sharp rocks or nails or anything like that have been swept away or moved. Tanks are laid out. Hoses are in manifolds are in place on both tanks. Hoses have been hooked up. M100 chlorine generator, pump manifold, and hoses are in place and ready to go. What's next? Well, we got to have water. So what are we going to do with that? There's a lot of different ways to get it. In some emergency situations, there may not be water available coming through the water pipe, through the municipal pipe, through the potable water system. Or there may be water coming to it, but it's not safe to drink, and that's why you're here. So what we have to do is determine what is our water source. How are we going to get water into the tanks? We're all set up and ready to go, but we need water. Water could be delivered from again, a municipal pipe. It could be delivered from a fire department through a pumper truck. It could be delivered from a water tanker. There's a lot of different ways, but those are the things that you're going to have to figure out yourself. What is our water source, and how are we going to get it into the tanks? Because if we can't get water in the tanks, you can't use the system. So let's just imagine that we do have water coming through the pipe. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk over to our tanks. We've talked about how we can use filtration as we fill them. So let's think about that right now. So we've got water coming through our hose through a municipal pipe. We're coming right into our filter pack. We have another hose that we can hook into here. We can lay this right on the ground. We can come over to our tank, remove our plug, have the water turned on, filter through the filter pack, and into the tank, and fill the tanks up with water. Now as these tanks fill up with water, they're going to rise up, rise up, rise up. These tanks, these 500-gallon tanks will probably be somewhere around 18 to 20 inches tall once they're full. They'll look like a big pillow sitting here on the ground. You want to fill them up as full as you possibly can, and then what you want to do immediately is move to the next tank and start filling it up. So you move your whole process down to the next tank. Same process. Start to fill up the tanks. And this is when you're going to start to chlorinate tank number 1. So we move into position. We have our chlorine generators all set up and ready to go. We go through the process of hooking our solar panel into the battery first, pump second, chlorine generator third. We start the process of chlorination. A tank this large is going to happen pretty rapidly. We're going to test our chlorine levels through this opening right here, and bring this up to 2.5 to 3.0 parts per million. When that's all done, we're going to move the whole chlorine generator power source down to tank number 2, and we're going to go through that process. Once the tanks have had chlorine in them for 30 minutes, we're going to check them again. We're going to make sure that our chlorine levels are still at 2.5 to 3.0 parts per million. If that's the case, we can get ready to distribute the water. We can do that one of two ways. We can use the jet pump with a pressure tank with a power source, or we can use the hand pump. Remember, if we have a power source, whether it's coming through the grid or a generator, we can hook up the ground fault interrupter to the power cord directly into the pump, power up the pump, and start to draw water out of the tanks. We can hook a hose or piping to these two convenient outlets on the front of the pressure tank and distribute those to where we want. And they can utilize the water from the system under pressure from this tank, just like you have at home. If we don't have a power source, or we've run out of fuel for the generator, or whatever the case may be, again, we can switch over to the hand pump. And we can draw water out of either one of the tanks by hooking directly into the manifold itself. Take our hose connection, and we can actually pump water directly out of the system into containers to give people safe water to drink. So just about anything that you can think of, utilizing the volume of waters that you have, you can make water safe to drink and distribute it in some fashion.